day to everyone. So my name is Femeri Custodio and I will be reporting today about ecological system by Yuri Bronfenbrenner. So to start, let us first know who is Yuri Bronfenbrenner. So he is a Russian born American hid developmental psychologist who is most known for his ecological system theory of child development. So, he came up with a simple yet useful paradigm showing the different factors that exert influence on the individual's development. So, it points out the ever-widening spheres of influence that shape every individual, from his or her immediate family to the neighborhood, the country, even the world. So he is he makes a useful paradigm in showing the different factors that a child uh, development. So it it says here that it has a widened sphere of influence, so that shape every individual, every child's development. So to continue, so Bronfenbrenner's model, also known as the bioecological system theory, presents child development within the context of relationship system that comprises the child's environment. So it has to do with the environment of the child. It describes multi-parts layers of environment that has effect on the development of the child. So also in his model, he describes that um, there is a effect. So each layer is further made up of different structures. So the term bioecological points out that a child's own biological makeup impacts as key factor in one's development. So his model points about every biological has a factor in one's or in every child's development as he or she grows. So through the child's growing and developing body and the interplay between his immediate family, community, environment changes, the conflict in any one layer will ripple throughout other layers. So to study child's development, then we must look not only at a child and her immediate environment. So we will not just observe and compare only the uh, immediate environment of the child, but also in the interaction of the larger environment as well. When we talk about larger environment, it has to do outside the house, let's say the neighborhoods, the friends, the school. So we have also to consider the the larger environment of the children's development. So Yuri Bronfenbrenner has a quote which is it states, "Children need people in order to become human." So this quote reminds us or gives us a impression or idea that every children needs a guidance, need a guide, or need a hand, so that they will become a better individual. So through the guidance of the family, the guidance of the parents, and also the teachers. So in here, human ecology theory states that human development is influenced by the different types of environment system. So we're going to learn the 5 different uh, types of environment system. So he believes that a person development was affected by everything in their surrounding environment. So he divided the person's environment into 5 levels. So what are these 5 levels? So we have microsystem, the mesosystem, the exosystem, the microsystem, and the chronosystem. So here, as we see here, this is the sphere as he described. So to continue, so we have here the 5, the different levels of the development of the child. So to understand what is microsystem, it is the layer nearest to the child. So when we talk about the nearest, syempre, it is about it is comprised the structure with the child directly interacts with. So it has to do with the family, directly approach with the child, the school, which the students face every day, like the teachers and the classmates and the friends, and also the neighborhood. So this is the example of the microsystem. So as such, the microsystem covered the most basic relationship and interactions that the child has in his or her immediate environment. So we have to understand, so microsystem is the nearest layer of the child. So it composes by the family, friends, and the school. So the second is the mesosystem. So this layer serves as the connection between the structure of the child's microsystem. So, for example, the mesosystem will include the link or interaction between the parents and the teachers, or the parents or the health services, and the community and the church. So the meso has to do with the environment, like government employee, relationship with the family, with the parents and the teachers and the parents or the family, and then the church also, it has to do with church and the family connection. So it has a link. So the mesosystem, connection between the structures of the child's microsystem. So the exosystem, the third one, this is the layer, refers to the bigger social system in which the child does not function directly. So when we talk about does not function directly, this includes the city government, the workplace, and the mass media. So we have 3: government, the workplace, and the mass media. So the structure in this layer may influence the child's development by somehow affecting some structure in the child's microsystem. So this includes the circumstances of the parents' work, like locations, schedules. So we see change in the children's routine when, for example, so we have sample here, mother works in a call center. That was seen in the burger chain commercial, where the mom and the children meet up in the fast food for breakfast just before the children go to school, and mom going home from work in the call center. So the child may not interact directly with what is in the ecosystem, but he is likely feel the positive or negative impact this system creates as it interacts with the child's own system. So as we have observed in the ecosystem, so it has really a huge impact wherein the parents has its own work, and then he or she or the mother is not able to take care of the child because of the work mode. So he has to wake up, and then they will just meet in the burger chain. So it has to do with, it has a huge impact to the child. So the fourth one is the macro system. So the macro system is the largest and the most distant collection of people and places to the child that still exercises significant influence on the child. So this is the macro system. So what is the further explanation of macro system? Macro system, it's largest and most distant collection of people and places that the child still exercise. So we have here the peace, the war, and the example of it is the freedom that everyone needs. The chrono system adds the useful dimension of time, which demonstrate the influence of both change, constancy in the child's environment. So it covers the element of time as it relates to a child's environment. So this involves patterns of stability and change. So in a child's life, this involves whether the child's day is characterized by an orderly, predictable pattern, or whether the child is subjected to sudden change in routine. So uh, chrono system is a way wherein the child experiences change in its life. So whether the child is so to continue, we can also look into the pace of the child's everyday life. So it is hurried or relaxed phase. So the system can affect or influence the child externally. So like the time of other siblings coming to the coming, or the timing of parental separation or even death. So effect can also be internal, like the bodily changes that occur within the developing child, like the timing of menstrual onset for girls. As children get older, they may react differently to environmental changes. So the children may have also acquired ability to cope and decide to what extent they will allow change around them to affect them. So children has also a kaning being affected of what is happening in their environment and also in their physical changes. So Bronfeners concluded that the instability and the unpredictability of a family life is the most destructive force to child's development. So research tells us that the absence or lack of children's constant mutual interaction with important adults has negative effect on their development. So according to him, it's very sad because most of the people, not everyone is lucky to have a family wherein they will grow. But according to Abron Friendbrenner's conclusion, yes, it has a negative effects on the child's development as the child grows. That's why it's really encouraged to children to right treat right all the children, especially when they are growing up, because it may have a negative effect on them as they develop. So according to biological theory, if the relationship in the immediate microsystem break down, so microsystem is the family, the school, or the environment, so the child will not have the tools to explore other parts of his environment. So if the first layer was already displaced, or so he will not or the child is not interested to explore to other parts of the environment. So children looking for the affirmations. So what is affirmations? So affirmations is something that we should tell them, show them, and let them feel. So that should be present in child or parent. Other important things is relationship look for attention in appropriate places. So they really need an attention, especially from their parents. As a child, we are not all given the opportunity to have that attention, but as we are adult, we understand that it is really important to give attention, fully attention and affirmation to every child. So These deficiencies show themselves especially in adolescence or as an antisocial behavior. So, as we have observed, no, there are many young teens very antisocial. So, lack of self-discipline and inability to provide self-direction. So, it really has to do with the as they develop their physical development and also the learning development. Next is the role of the schools and teachers. So what is the role of the school and the teachers? So according to Bronfenbrenner's theory, reminds the school that the teacher of their very important role. So if there is a lack of support, care, and affection from the home, if there is a serious breakdown of the basic relationship in the child's life, what can the school, the teachers in particular do? So what can, um, what can a teacher or educator can do to his or her children or students? So as in school and in it has a huge impact to the students. So the teachers already understand this theory that we have to be a someone who can guide those children, especially when they are in the still development period or process. So to sum up, this theory helps teachers look into every child's environmental system in order to understand more about the characteristic, the needs of each child, each learner, and the school and the teacher can contribute stability and long-term relationship. So, but only to support and not to replace the relationship at home. So, just to support. So, Bronfenbrenner believes that the primary relationships needs to be with someone who can provide a sense of caring that is meant to last lifetime. So, this relationship must be fostered by a person or people within the immediate sphere of child's influence. So, when we talk about the immediate sphere of the child's influence, it is the family. So, the parents. If wala ang family, parents, the brothers, sisters, the second parents, the teachers, or the one who is available. So, schools and teachers' crucial role is to replace the lack in the home if such exists. So, that's the role of the school. So, but to work so that the school becomes an environment that welcomes and nurtures families. So, it's very nice and it's very not very good to hear that school becomes an environment that welcomes and nurtures families. Not only the families, not only the student, but also the parents. So Bronfenbrenner also stressed that society should value work done on behalf of children at all levels and consequently value parents, teachers, extended family, mentors, work supervisors, and legislators. So to end up, it teaches us to understand every children's perspective as they continue to grow and develop one's physical development and their learning and development. So for us, a future educator, we have to be aware that there are some or there are things, instances that affects child's behavior, especially when we don't know the background of the child or the student, so that we can be aware of how to handle every student that we will meet in the future. So it's according to Bronfenbrenner. So I think this is the end of my report, and thank you. So thank you for listening, and God bless us always. Thank you.